class. Well, if you are seeing this video, that means that I have been seated on a jury. Last Friday, during jury duty, they thought that I was a perfect candidate to sit on a 1 to 2 day civil case, so I'll be hearing about a lawsuit. In the meantime, I think this is a perfect example of a good transfer task, as they call it in teaching, which means that you're going to get to do everything that I've taught you without me here. I'll give you some background in this video. There's plenty of information both on your handouts, in this video, and on our blood spatter webpage. First, let me tell you a little bit more about the case. After we left class last week, 2 bodies were found right in Keeney Park, which is about 2 miles that way as the crow flies, and about 100 meters into the park, they found 2 bodies that were later identified as Phil Litwack and Deb Longfellow. And Phil's car was parked by the side of the road. So 2 dead bodies. They've since autopsied, and you'll be able to see their autopsy reports later. So from what we analyzed the other day, the spatter, hopefully you've graphed your spatter. If you haven't, you can take a time to do that today. You should also look at the autopsy reports that are available to you in the yellow evidence folders. Recreate the spatter in 3 dimensions here in the classroom, and you'll be seeing how to do that in a little bit. And by the end of this, you should be able to figure out exactly what happened by combining the graph heights, the spatter heights, through the string analysis, the autopsy reports, kind of an idea and your best guess using evidence of who you think who affected who, what happened to these 2 people, and if you even want to go a little bit above and beyond, you can give me a little extra of how did they actually get over to Keeney Park and both end up dead in the park. All the supplies are in the classroom, but let me show you a little bit of what you're going to be doing today. Here on our blood spatter webpage, you can see there all the instructions you'll need to get through all of the activities today, as well as all the crime scene photos I took the other day. Here's the handout I gave you the other day. By this point, you should have the top filled in, the measurements done, hopefully the angle calculated. The distance of the point of convergence that I gave you the other day should help you to graph and figure out the heights according to the graphing method. If you look at the crime scene photos that I've given you on the blood spatter webpage, you should be able to fill in this area here, describing the major spatters that were found throughout the room. Don't forget, I've also hung the major pieces of paper and spatters in the classroom around you right now. The next step of the lab, after you have your graph done, is to calculate what would be the average height according to the graph, and then to perform the string analysis. So I wanted to remind you how to actually do the spatter string method. So you're going to need a meter stick, which you'll find over in the supplies. In fact, all the supplies will be in this bucket. You're going to use the meter stick to measure out the correct DPOC, distance from the point of convergence, from, let's say, use one of the door jambs or one of the steel frames. We'll put that on the floor. Then, using some string and tape, you're going to tape this to the floor. And using your protractor, you're going to do the correct angle, and you're going to work it all the way back until it hits the door jamb, the beam, and in this case, that's going to be your y-axis. And then from there, you're just going to measure that height. Hopefully those heights match what you did with the graphing method, and you'll report that on your data sheet, as well as share that with another group so you can find out all of the information from the crime scene. Once you're done with the string analysis, you've got both estimated heights done. You can then go and find someone from one of the other groups who tested and measured and calculated for the other poster. Make sure that you share the data, and then go and look at the autopsy reports for both the male and the female. Once you have both your string heights and your graph heights calculated, and if you looked at the autopsy, it's time to analyze the evidence. While doing this, make sure that you're supporting all of your statements with measurements, marker numbers, any of the specific information that you found so that you can get the most credit possible. And then, when you're all done with that, make sure that you staple all of these pieces, hand them in to your sub. If you can't complete this fully today, you can complete it for homework and give it to me in the next class. Thanks.